Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the monthly business assembly brought to you by GAHCCI, the Bell Initiative, of which I am a proud fellow, and Brand Pill, which is a marketing and branding agency. And of course, this is the educational department of Brand Pill, which is Brand Pill University. We're in month 4, and I really want to make sure that everything is clear, that all those sessions are connected and they are designed in a way to give you an overview on how to be a 4K entrepreneur. So without further ado, let's move forward. Many of y'all are familiar with Brand Pill. Therefore, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to say that the focus really is not just on graphic design and aesthetics, but really what makes us very uh, effective in what we do is really the focus on strategy and also educating the entrepreneur or brand managers in actually understanding what they're doing and where everything that all the communications that they're putting out and all the designs that they're doing in the business in their business models, how does that fit their business goals and how to reach success. Of course, our workshops are based on the 4K Entrepreneur framework, which is a proprietary teaching and learning tool that we created inside BrainPale to really help entrepreneurs gain a foundation on how to really be uh, uh, very effective. So it's based on the 4Ks, and these words are in Creole. So connaissance, compétence, connexion, and comportement, meaning like knowledge, the things that you need to know on a theoretical level. Competence, which is things that you need to know how to do. Connection, which is who you're connecting with, how are you connecting with your clients, how are you connecting with your fellow staff members, and also lastly, but definitely not least, comportement, which is what is your attitude? How are you? What is the mindset that you have? Like, for example, a lot of people think business is about business, they just do it. But if you're not in the mindset of an entrepreneur that is always learning, then this session is not even of interest to you because you think you already know everything and etc. So the mindset, the way you approach this entrepreneurial journey is really what guides your quest for knowledge, competence, and emotional intelligence. So this foundation helps really entrepreneurs go from just, doing it on a day to day and not necessarily knowing what they're doing, but really creating a foundation for them to really reach the goals that they have. So this month we're starting, of course, with the mindset. That's how we always start, and we have our tradition of like sharing 4 bars with the audience to really get into the subject that we're seeing. So the behavior, the mindset that we really want to impart this month is that an entrepreneur is never prepared enough. They're worse than Boy Scouts, right? So you need to plan even your planning. That's at the level that you need to be focused. So the 4 bars goes like this. Being on being an entrepreneur full of ideas can be a curse and a gift. Our imagination is infinite, but we have limited bandwidth. Strategy and focused education allows us to grow and win. Products, prices, places, promotion, it all requires planning. And this is just to introduce the subject today, which is product and portfolio management. So you need to plan your planning. And what that means though, the mindset, the behavior, the comportement that is necessary to do that is you need to be able to make tough decisions about the status quo, meaning where are you right now? And I will be helping you along those questions because I added questions at each and every slide. So to help you assess at the same time where you are based on the content that you're receiving. So tough decisions about the status quo. You need to really know, are we going to keep going the way we are? Are we axing a few things? Are we adding a few things to what we have, etc.? You also need a strategic mindset that is focused on long-term growth. And I see a lot of people focus on, yeah, I'm just making that quick money and it's good. But where is your company going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Are you creating a portfolio of products or a portfolio of brands that help each other so that you can leverage one another to actually become the entrepreneur that you want to become and like have the business that you want to have. In terms of mindset as well and behavior, data, like and analyzing that data is definitely superior to your gut slash intuition. Meaning some of the decisions that you're about to make, please don't let them just be decisions that you make out of the blue or like very randomly. Like look at data, collect data if you don't have, design surveys, like learn how to do like because there are various types of market research, and no, they don't all have to be expensive. So really focus on like prioritizing data analysis, insights rather than just your guts and intuition. And then last but not least, you really need to be adaptive, right? Like meaning it's not really a matter of um you're just evolving in your own bubble, but you really need to be paying attention to what's happening around you, what's happening in your environment, right? Porter's five forces. You are evolving in the market. And same with your business. The market may be a way, but your business is showing you very different trends. So you really need to be paying attention to both these things. How is the market behaving and how is my business behaving? And then you can coordinate between those two to really like adjust to see where you want to go. And ever since month one, we've been dropping keys. And this is a recap of all the keys that we have before we go to this month's key. So the first key, and here we are in the connaissance section. You need to know that how do you grow your business is by managing customers, right? How do you manage customers is you really need to master value creation. How do you create more value for them? How do you create value for them that allows them to keep coming back and to like really, because customer management also means getting them to spend more with you over time. So if you don't understand how to create new value constantly all the time, then you're not really capitalizing on that. The key to competitiveness, what makes you competitive, is your ability to capture customers, to capture and keep customers. This is what customer captivity is. And again, you need to be able to design an experience that really makes the person like feel like, oh my God, I am home finally. So it's really important to understand that value proposition is mostly services and products and promises, but how are you delivering that is what's really going to affect your customer captivity and your competitiveness. And all that paralysis that entrepreneur seems to have. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be doing it. It's a lack of knowledge. So your inaction is really a symptom of you not having enough information. So the key to action is really doing some customer discovery or customer research, and by like collecting that data that I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. The key to value creation now is again customer knowledge, and that comes from customer discovery. If you know the people's pains, gains, and jobs to be done, this is what you call a customer profile, then you know what to create for them as a service and as a product. So you know exactly how to, diminish their pains, increase their gains, etc. So if you have that value, if you have that customer knowledge, then it's easy for you to create value for that client. The key to that knowledge is customer research. We spoke about that. The key to marketing is like really not trying to target everyone at the same time with the same message. It's really customer segmentation. So knowing exactly who you're talking to and most of the time having a customer avatar, it's not just a group of people, it's one representative of that group, of that customer segment. And this is what we call a customer avatar. Like I always say, Brainpill's customer avatar is, her name is Jessica. We know everything about her. So whenever we're communicating, we feel like we're communicating to Jessica. And weirdly, Jessica's come to us for our services. So it's really important to center your team, to align your team around who exactly we're targeting. And it starts with customer segmentation. Of course, they can be segmented many different ways, but having a customer avatar that helps guide marketing and processes, and even customer research, because we're always looking for people like Jessica, that helps. So the key to sales is like this is the end all be all. You can't function in a business without that part, is a sales funnel. And how are you gonna have a sales funnel if you can't design or at least understand the customer journey? Where do they find you? How do they hear from you? What do they do whenever they want to purchase your services? How where do they go when they feel like they need someone from your industry? Right? So having understanding the customer's journey helps you say, okay, fine, I'll create a sales funnel based on that. Because whenever they're looking for those services, they go to the mall, then I need to create a touch point at the mall. And I need to give them something that's gonna attract them at the mall. So most of the time, this is something free, like a coupon or anything that helps them become familiar, like or even know that I exist. So that's the first step of the sales funnels, and there are subsequent steps. And we've spoken about that, and we probably will go back to that because sales funnels are like almost the end all be all of sales. So it's really important to master that key. So the key to business validation. So this is more for people who are fundraising or pitching their businesses in competitions, or who are looking for investors. How do you communicate the fact that your business is valuable enough that it makes sense for it to be to e- to even like that people would even consider investing in it? Well, it's you need that validation, and how do you do that is traction. You need to really be able to prove that your indicators are, like increasing slowly and slowly, or fast or surely. And what's important is that there's traction, meaning you had two clients yesterday, today you have 20. And it make like this, it's not a problem if the day after you have 15, but if the day after that you get 30. So let's say it creates a trend, and there's a graph, and it shows that, yeah, it's an ascending trend. Like your company is gaining traction. So these are like there are many key performance indicators or KPIs that can dictate traction. So it's really important to master them, but it's hard to convince any business like investor that your business it makes sense to invest in without having that business validation. So now on to today's keys. What are the keys to relevancy? How why should people even care about your products? Why should people even care about your brand or your company? What makes a company relevant is the fact that their current products and services respond to the actual customer. So the key to relevancy is product and portfolio design first, because you need to decide which products, which services, which promises are we gonna offer as a value proposition. But you also need to manage that offering, and that's where a lot of people fail. They they did the design phase when they were launching their businesses, and 10 years later, 15 years later, they still have the same portfolio, the same product portfolio, the same everything that they had, the same offering, and it's no longer relevant. So this also is also related to value creation, to the value creation process. So there's a tool for that, the value proposition design on Canvas. But it's really important to understand that designing is one part, but managing is another one. And the reason why it's important is 80% of the products and services being consumed today are different from those that were consumed 5 years ago, and they will be different from 5 years from now. So what happens is these brands, the leading brands, the market leaders who like for which we exist, what we're the whole gist of Brand Pill is to help create market leading brands. And what better way to learn to do that than to like have a very zoomed in, a very like keen eye on what those the current market leaders are doing. And what they're doing is they're shuffling their offerings. Like every time, like they're create like they have they take their time to design their portfolio, that's for sure, but they manage them as well, creating new products, like getting rid of old ones, etc., etc. So the question that you need to ask yourself when you read that key is, wait, do I even have a product portfolio? Do I even have that list of products and services that I'm offering to which segment? And after that, you need to ask yourself, is it outdated? Is my product offering outdated? Is it still relevant to my current target audience's needs? Because things change. What happened in March is not what's happening in April. AI changed everything. And before AI, there was something else that changed everything. Before, and then there was COVID, and then there was the Trump's presidency, and then there's always going to be something that's going to change everything. And that's why the management of portfolios really matter. So, how should you treat your products? Like we were talking about, how do these big brands do it, right? So first of all, it's really important, like once you're done designing your product portfolio, to protect them, because and we'll see later on why it's important to protect your products. But you need to understand, when you're managing, you need to say, okay, I currently have a product. If I introduce something new, will it cannibalize the resources of that my company is currently using to be able to provide those services, or to build that product? Is it going to like, is the new offering going to cannibalize the resources? Will they suffer from it? So you really need to, if it's working, you need to know, well, my products and services need to be protected, but they also need to be improved. Like, and that's a constant question that should be in the mind of an entrepreneur. How can we give more value to the customer? And we shared that as a key. You can't know how to give more value if you don't understand the customer's profile. What pains are they going through? What gains are they expecting? What are the jobs to be done? What do they need to accomplish in life? So how do we give more value is by improving our products and services. So again, we come back to this concept of, it's not supposed to be static. It's something that needs to be revised over and over again. And most importantly, we need to leverage our products. Meaning, how do we build upon product to even expand to a different market, right? And you can see that like a lot of celebrities are doing that. Yeah, I sing, right? I'm a singer. I drop albums, multi-platinum albums, but now I want to launch my own clothing line. And now I want to launch my own cosmetics line, right? Or let's stick more to the technology or electronics. Yeah, I used to sell computers, but now I'm selling iPods, I'm selling iPads. And it's I'm leveraging the reputation of the iMac, or of the MacBook, to actually like translate that in the phone, to translate that in the iPod, and in the tablet, to really make people like give people the impression that, yeah, well, it's the same company. So they're leveraging their products. And that's why I said, I will explain further why it's really important to protect them, is because how are you going to leverage it if you don't protect it? If you let it die, if you let it become less and less relevant, or if you let it give less and less value, or if you're not paying attention to what your competitors are doing to improve their offering, then how are you going to be able to leverage it? So the question that you need to ask yourself is, if I need to protect them, improve them, and leverage them, do I have the right products? Are the products that I currently have, are they worthy of being protected? Are they worthy of being improved? And is it worth it to do that? And are they worthy of being like, can they even be leveraged for me to expand my offering or my market and my bottom line? So these are the questions that you need to ask. So when we talk about portfolios, there are many, 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 many ways to classify products. And like the whole point of the slide is really to help you understand that you're not going to treat every product the same way, and you're not going to market every product the same way. Depending on the type of product that you have, or service that you have, you're going to be talking about it in a very different way, right? So products can be categorized in many ways. So one of those ways is, well, some products are just commodities. So they're convenience products. This is, they don't, they're not expensive. There's not much thought being put into it. It's a commodity. People don't really care about the brand, so therefore you're not going to communicate like that commodity was an expensive luxury good. And there are needs products, meaning like I use that on a daily basis. I use that, or it solve a problem for me that if I don't have it, then it's complicated, right? So this is a very different uh, type of product that needs to be marketed in a different way. So this like tells you how to arrange your portfolio. And there are specialty products. Specialty products is the opposite of commodity. Commodity, for example, require a lot of marketing dollars because you really need to convince the people to buy your version instead of someone else. Needs, require less because they're gonna buy it anyway. But you still need to be able to get them to choose yours. But specialty products, what people notice is that specialty products, the people come to you. They're looking for it, like, and these are things that, people like collectors, they like, they're not waiting for you to offer them that, rare piece of art, or that rare piece of that meal, that specific way that X meal is being cooked. They come to you and like, please give that to me. So of course specialty products are more expensive. So because they are different, they speak to different targets, you cannot market them in the same way. And you need to understand when you're building your portfolio, which one of those products are you going to have? And in the portfolio that you currently have, how the type of product is telling you how to market the others as well. So the other classifications, that one of the things that I really wanted to say is that some products are low customer involvement. Like if you're gonna buy a pen, right? Or if you want to buy an internet subscription, there's not many thought being put into that, right? And there are products that are high customer involvement. Like if someone is buying a house, if someone's buying a car, like this is not something that, like, first of all, the sales cycle is longer because they really need, like, they put all their might into it, into figuring out, am I getting the right option? Am I getting the right treatment? Am I getting the best value and all of that? So these are high customer involvement products versus low customer involvement, like, am I get like, which ice cream flavor am I getting? So it's really important to understand that, oh, this also informs the kind of products that you want to have. And the more you like, let's talk about it. Let's say you're about to launch your business and you really want to be profitable, then you have the choice. You need to say, okay, do I want to be selling low customer involvements or just commodities where there's not a lot of money? Or do I want to make sure that I'm having some specialty products, or I'm having some high customer involvement products in my portfolio? So these are the factors that dictate that, right? Now, I really wanted to make sure. that, like I said, portfolio mean it's more than one product. And what I noticed, especially in our community, is that a lot of companies have one product or one service that they give. And there's a lot of risk and danger in that because any slight change in the market and that company may just disappear. So be careful if you just have one product in your portfolio. And now the question is based on, those different classifications, you can ask yourself, do I have the right range of products? Do I need to add a different type of products to complement my offering? Or is it okay that, yeah, you're right, we focus on a few specialty products or services. We have some customized services, which are also more expensive. Or like really analyze your portfolio and do we have the right range in terms of depths and breadths? Like, do we have the right range of products in your portfolio? So this is all assessment questions that you can ask yourself in order to go back and then design your portfolio if you didn't have one, or rearrange or manage what you have. So let's be a little bit more practical. How do those brands that we were talking about, like, how do they use products? What is their what is their conception of having a portfolio? So, right, this is, bear with me. I know it looks a little complex. So this brand is Apple, and what we're looking at, the diagram is called the brand identity prism. So this is a tool marketers, and we use it at BrandPill when we're creating and managing brands to really build the core of the brand, as well as their externalization, what we would call their face or the foot that they're putting forward. So Apple, so on that side, we have internalization, right? So the personality of Apple is cool. They focus a lot on simplicity. They're very innovative, right? So this is internal. The other internal thing is their culture. What are their beliefs? What do they believe in? They believe in bringing change. They believe that they want to empower people through technology, right? And of course, as a market leader, they're definitely proponents of the US culture, of, like, they encapsulate everything in there. And all personality and culture you can definitely see in their ads and their commercials, but even the products that they put out. But we'll talk about that later. So self-image. How does Apple see Apple? So they see themselves as a young brand, and it's always young regardless of how old they are. So they see themselves as a young, fun. They're making customers feel special. They really believe in free thinking, and like that's the whole point of their tagline, "Think different." So they're really like, this is how the brand is internally. And you will see that the personality, the culture, the self-image, this come into play even when they're recruiting, right? So this is the internal. So now they need to understand that, okay, so how do we bring that, like, to the customer? How do we externalize it? So they have first the physique of the brand, which it could be represented by a lot of things, but I'm just saying these are things that are more tangible and more external. So definitely their tagline, think different. Like, almost everybody remembers that. Their logo, slash symbol, like, everybody recognizes Apple's logo. They have an easy access user interface. And you can't mistake an iPod or an iPad for anything else. Like, or a MacBook, it's a Mac. Like, so, like, their microcomputer, you go to it and you can't even mistake it. Like the other ones, you need to, like, is that a Dell? Is that a HP? But a Mac is a Mac, right? So their physique is very clear, and it talks of their personality, that simplicity, that innovative way of seeing things, right? The other thing is relationships. How are they with their customers? So they're very friendly, emotional. There's an heartfelt connection. And you can see that, like, I don't know if you're Apple users, but Apple users who use customer service, who use troubleshooting from Apple, really get to experience that relationship, right? Now, the reflection is how their customers see themselves in the company. So all those customers, they see that like, well, if I use Apple, then I'm always enhancing myself. I'm always getting better. I'm hip. I'm connected. I'm at the forefront of technology. So this is how the self-image of the brand creates a reflection in the customer, right? And so I really wanted to go through the internalization and the externalization first, but there's also the picture of the sender and the picture of the receiver. So the picture of the sender is the brand, so Apple. So is their personality in their physique. So this is who we are, brand identity in terms of visuals, but also in terms of thinking, thought, and etc. Whereas the picture of the receiver, his oh, how does like is the receiver being the target customer is how do they see themselves? Like how do I see myself in that brand and how does that brand see itself? So this is really important because this is where the alignment comes in, right? And like I experience that all the time when people say, "Yeah, Brand Pill is the agency for me." And like it's because I see myself in it because we think the same way. The values, the personality, the being at the forefront, the not settling for business as usual, and really wanting to improve all the time, is I see myself in that, right? So therefore, I want to use that brand, and that brand makes me feel like more like myself. So these are really important concepts, and I'm not asking anyone to just create a brand identity prism for their company alone, but this is what a strategic consultation exists, and you can, with the help of a brand strategist or marketer or brand manager, create one for your company so that it helps you understand more um, what's the core internal personality assets of the brand and how does it externalize. So this is just to say a brand like Apple will never have products that don't respond to their brand identity prism because then it wouldn't be them. So what they do is based on those different elements, they create different type of products. And remember we just spoke about the different like classifications that products can have. This is definitely one a different classification. So they the brands like Apple, brands like big brands, they're considering their products like into different classifications. So the image anchors, for example, this is one type of products that they have. And remember we spoke about their physique, which is their slogan, their logo, their user interface, the type of products that they have, the physical type of products that they have. So the image anchors is something that people think automatically of whenever they think about the brand, right? So for example, for like Apple, it's the iPhone, it's the MacBook, it's the AirPods, like it's everything that they have that makes like whenever you hear the brand, that's what you think about. Do they have other products and services? Of course, right? But nobody thinks of iTunes the first time they think about Apple. So this is not an image anchor. So the anchor is something that, like literally, like it's an anchor that tethers the brand's like we call that the top of mind. So the top of mind is what comes first in the mind of the customer whenever they hear your brand, right? So for example, like Brentfield, like we do a lot of consultation, we do a lot of strategic planning, we do a lot like so many things, or like we do websites, etc. But the first thing that someone thinks of is the logo because a lot of people like associate branding with logo first. So having a logo is not the same thing as having a brand built logo. So this is like kind of like our image anchor. But in reality, there's so much more that we do. Like, but at the end of the day, what matters is for a brand like that, you need one thing to pop up in the mind of the target audience whenever they hear your brain, they hear your brand name. Like, what is it like that comes to like? And this is you can already start asking yourself question. So in that case, my company, my business image anchors are dot 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 dot. And if there's not one particular product or type of product that communicates the physique, the personality, the culture, the self-image of your brand, then this is the time to start thinking, we need portfolio management and we need value proposition design services where we can really come up with a product or service to really be the star of our company. So this is one type of one type of products. They also have promise products. Promise products are products that are not as established, right? But who have a lot of promise. Like they can definitely they have a lot of potential, and it's something that most brands they always have. And it's not just for the consumer, it's also for them because they won't be able to keep making money with iPhones all the time. Like actually, iPhones are slowly and slowly not bringing them as much cash as as they used to. So what are they coming up as like their R&D, their research and development like departments? What are they bringing up that allows them to be make like to expand and to grow and to make like more profit. So this most of the time these are the promise products like Apple Watch, Apple TV, Apple Music. And no, it doesn't mean that they're profitable. It doesn't mean that they have the biggest market share, but it's something that is there, and it's cultivating, it's creating new consumer because sometimes you have now some people who don't like Macs, who don't like iPhones, who don't like AirPods, but they use Apple TV, they use Apple Music, etc., etc. So they're also expanding their consumer base with those type of products. They also have regulatory products, and this is really important and a bit tricky. These are products that they use like like it says its name, like regulator, to regulate the market, to like complement their offering. To sometimes it's, well, you see that we have relationships like in our externalization process, like we want to be friendly, emotional, have a heartfelt collection. It's hard for us to do that with MacBooks and iPhones. So let's introduce something that allows us to reflect that relationship part, right? So Apple Care, the iCloud, the Genius Bar. So these are products that they're not bringing in that much money, but they're here to regulate the market and the offering and like based on their competitors. Same with the Promise products. The Promise products, they're here and you will like it's less physical, right? Apple Care, iCloud, Genius Bar, like basically have nothing to do with that part. But you can see that the culture, the relationship part of the company is what's is shining in these parts, right? And then you have tactical products, which is it brings them a little bit of money, but again, it's how they do to really manage their market share so that competitors don't steal the customers and so that they start stealing some of their competitors' clients, etc. So tactical products are like Apple accessories, limited edition of their product releases. So this is just to keep, because a brand that is about movement, bringing change, etc., cannot be stagnant, right? So they always have those, limited edition products that they put out to keep, the consumer on their toes. And really, this is how they manage. Like, let's say a competitor drops something tomorrow, they can say, you know what? Let's drop something as well to steal their thunder. And sometimes they even purchase services and products because they don't want their computer like they don't want new competitors on the market, so they just, let's just buy them out, and they start offering it as a tactical product, but they don't really need it, right? So it's really 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 important understand these different type of products like image anchors, promise products, regulator products, and tactical products. And that way you understand, okay, so this is how the big brands are doing it. Of course, it's hard for me to have all those type of products in my arsenal, in my portfolio from the go. But what I can learn from this is that, wait, all their image products, like as soon as I go on it, I know it's an Apple product. All their promise products is the same. All their regular products, all their unregulated products, all their tactical products. As soon as I'm on there, I know it's an Apple product. So what you learn from this is that their whole portfolio is on brand. And that's the question I'm leaving you with. Is your product or service portfolio on brand? Can people recognize it? And is it a reflection of your brand identity? So this is what I'm leaving you with, and this is the assessment that you can do. Another section, and this is more like competence, like things that you need to know how to do, is how exactly do you manage your portfolio? And at Brandpill, we focus a lot on tools. Yeah, we don't we learned that from medicine. We use scalpels to cut stuff, and we use those strategic tools to manage everything that we're doing in this marketing or branding section. So managing your products portfolio means you need frameworks. So there are multiple frameworks as usual, um, to that does that. But one of those is the BCG matrix, right? The BCG matrix, of course, the first time, if it's just the first time you're seeing it, and it looks complex, but it's not really. So you have just four quadrants, right? So one, two, three, four, and two axes. And one of those is the market growth rate. What is the market growth rate? It means like how high is the demand for a type of product or for a market, like an industry, a sector, right? So this is the market growth rate. And then the other one is the relative market share, meaning your product or whatever brands that you're analyzing is like how much of their mm, um of the market share do they occupy? Like, is Apple the leading technology company, etc.? Like, what's the percentage of the whole market share do they own? So the bigger, or let's say the higher the market share is, then I mean this is low and this is high, so the closest to the left they are. Same thing for the market growth rate. The higher it is, then it means the more that particular market is booming, right? So intersections between these like four like low, high segments create different types of products, and this is the BCG matrix. The BCG matrix was like discovered, like not discovered, but defined by a university, so that's why it's called BCG. So it's really important to understand that all companies should have these four type of products. So this is again a different type of classification. So now we will define them. So let's say they have a high growth market share, high growth rate, right? So this is here, high growth rate, and they have a high share. So not only is the market booming, but a lot of the people who are buying this product are buying from them. So meaning this intersection, so that's high, is a star. Now, stars is what business should be about. If you're launching a product, it better be a star. It better be able to compete with all the people who were there before. So, of course, they require a significant amount of investment. And stars is also like, and if you're recalling the big brands, this is what, like, like image anchors. So this is what literally people will be thinking about your company whenever they hear the name of your company. So it makes sense for it to like munch all your budget to so that you can really have that star product. So it's high growth because who wants to enter a market that doesn't have high growth, right? So you need to enter a market that's high growth. So that means there's a lot of demand for the product or service, and you want to be able to have a lot of market share for that product. Unfortunately, when you're a startup or when you're just launching, that's difficult. Even if you join that booming market, what are the odds that you're gonna have a lot, like a high market share? So it's really hard for companies to launch stars unless they have a lot of money, right? But it's really at the end of the day what people are looking for. You need to be able to have stars, and this is the first thing that people think about when they think about your company, and this is what's bringing you the most money. This is, if you don't have a star in your portfolio, then boom, you have a problem. So now let's go another scenario. Let's say you're still in a high growth, like high market growth rate, meaning booming sector, like lots of demand, but you have a low market share. And that is basically the case of all startups, right? You want to target a high growing market, but most of the time you don't you can't launch having a lot of market share. So most of the time what we launch is a question mark. So the question mark is a high growth, right? Low share product. And investment should be made in question mark products depending on their chances of becoming stars, right? So if you like, the reason why it's called a question mark, like the other name for that is problem child, is we never really know what to do with them. Should we just cut our losses short, stop spending and just give up on the question mark, or should we keep investing until they turn into stars? So the goal, the mission, the final destination of a question mark, hopefully, is for it to transition into becoming a star. And how do you do that? Is by getting more people to buy it, right? So you slowly but surely gaining more customers for that question mark, and meaning your market share is increasing, right? So this is for the high growth rate section. Now let's go for the low. Right. So what is the low? It's a market in which there's not a lot of demand, or there's not a lot of competition, right? So why would someone want something like that? And we'll talk about that, right? I will, before I start with the cash cow, let me go with the dog. So the dog is a low growth, right? So not a lot of demand and low share. And what does that mean is that, well, not a lot of activity in that sector. And at the same time, not a lot of people are buying it from you. So there's no money in it, basically. So that's why it's called a dog. And like a literal dog, like a Haitian dog even. So what that does is, what should businesses do about that is they should just liquidate, divest, like stop investing money, like, or they could reposition those products and, you know, work on them, improve them. You know what? We have a dog. We're either gonna kick it out, or we're gonna invest in it and turn it into something else. How can we turn it into something else? Like, can we turn it into a cash cow? Can we turn it into a question mark? Can we turn it into a star? So that's a question. And remember, the first slide said you need to be able to be honest and evaluate the status quo and know what you're gonna do, right? So the dog is what you don't want in your portfolio. You want as little, like you don't want your company to, your portfolio to look like a pound. You don't want many dogs at all, or you don't want dogs at all, because low market growth, meaning there's not a lot of money anyway, and you have low share, so not a lot of people are buying from it. So you don't want that at all. The cash cow, while it's in a low market growth rate, you have a high share of it. So a lot of people are buying that product from you, right? And it's for some reason, and I'll explain further, very desirable, more desirable than the stars. Because the difference between a star and a cash cow, but first let's just read the cash cow. So low growth, high share. Cash cows should be milked. So products can be reinvested in stars. So profits can be reinvested in stars or question marks. The difference between a star and a cash cow on the financial level is that the stars require a lot of money to maintain. It requires a lot of money to remain a market leader. It's in a high growth rate market because everybody's competing for that attention, for that money, right? So even launching them requires a lot of investment, but maintaining the position. So these are like stars are for big companies who are spending a lot of money. And yes, they're making a lot of money with these products as well. But in terms of profit, it's not that high. Whereas a cash cow, because it's in a low growth rate market, there's not a lot of competition. And most of the time, you're already established your pipeline. So you're making a lot of money. That's why they're called cash cows, right? Because you have a high share. So a lot of people, most of the people buying this product are buying from you. And you're not spending a lot of money promoting that because there's not a lot of competition. And cash cows are actually former stars. So there's movement in your portfolio as well. You want your dogs to get out of the picture. You don't want your dogs to stay. You want dogs to be liquidated or divested. Like you don't want them to be there at all. So that's movement number one. You want your question marks to become stars. And you want your stars to become cash cows. And you want your cash cows. You're using that money to feed your question marks and feed your stars. So that question marks can become stars and stars can become cash cows. So this is what you're looking at in your portfolio is, oh my God, I'm full of stars, hooray. Or, oh my God, I just have dogs. So in other words, like just to remember, so stars are high growth, high share. Cash cows are low growth, high share. Question marks are high growth, low share. Dogs are low growth, low share. So the question I'm leaving you with is, well, is your product service or like product or service portfolio, is it a farm on a starry night? Meaning, do you have a lot of stars and a lot of cash cows? So a farm on a starry night? Or is it just a confused dog, right? Like a bunch of question marks and dots. And the problem with startups is that they're gonna have a lot of question marks. And the other thing I really wanted to put emphasis on, because one of the things I notice in our community, a lot of startups are launching dogs. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, like, okay, I want to become a businessman, and their first product or their first service is a dog. So in a low growth rate market, not a lot of demand in that industry. And well, you're a startup, so it's hard for you to start with a lot of market share. So at the end of the day, you're launching a dog. So why would you be launching a dog, right? Dogs are typically like in the life cycles of products. Dogs should be a star that people start that become less relevant. Like people start not caring anymore about that star or that cash cow. Or the question, even a question mark can revert to a dog. So it's supposed to be something that was almost perfect that reverted to a dog. So it's a no-no to launch a dog. And unfortunately, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people, well, I'm timid, I'm shy. No, I don't have the hang of this entrepreneurship yet. So let me launch a dog. So it's so hard for dogs to turn into anything else. So it doesn't make sense to invest your resources in having a dog, right? So what that gives you is an understanding of how brands are managing their portfolio. And you can ask yourself, what is my portfolio looking like right now? Is it a farm, like a lot of cash cows? And is those farms like on a starry night, meaning I have some star products and services as well that people are pushing through the door to have access to? Or is my company just looking like a confused dog, like a lot of dogs, or and with a lot of question marks on them? So this is really important, and I really wanted to spend more time on this slide. So that's why I really wanted to show you an example. So let's look at the Apple BCG matrix, right? So what does the Apple BCG matrix look like? They have stars. The iPhone, of course, I'm telling you, like that right now, the iPhone is slowly reverting, losing some market share. So if they're losing market share, then they're turning into a question mark. So Apple is going to say, what do I do with that? Do I keep investing in the iPhone or do I just retire it? Like, what are we exactly doing? So they will. This is a question that they will need to start asking in their meetings, like because they're losing market share to their competitors, right? So this is the Apple BCG matrix. So they have stars, the iPhone. They have cash cows. Cash cows require less marketing because, like, what more marketing can Apple do for MacBooks? Like they own like the in terms of market share, they have the highest. They own the spot. Like they own like everybody knows like the best laptop that they can get is a MacBook. So they're not gonna spend a lot of money doing that. So it's already a cash cow for them. Not spending a lot of money, but this is bringing them so much money. And the money that MacBooks and iPads is bringing to them is what they're investing into, launching those little question marks like AirPods, Apple TV, which is also almost a dog, because they don't like it's not growing like in terms of market share, they don't have that much. So like launching AirPods, they had the HomePod as well, that is not gaining a lot of traction. Not a lot of people are even aware of it, let alone like isn't entering homes really. So they're launching all those question marks with MacBook money, with MacBook money, and they still have stars that definitely like for example iPad. The iPad is it's in between a star and a cash cow. It's transitioning from a star to a cash cow because they also basically own that sector. Nobody's gonna compare. Nobody's gonna say this company has a better tablet than the iPad. So definitely. And they have stuff that turn into dogs, like the iPod. Nobody's using the iPod anymore, so it's a dog. So they're probably gonna retire it, or they might reposition it differently, or they might keep them as dogs and just treat them as tactical products, which we saw in the previous slides, and just start releasing limited edition iPods. Like maybe they should do partnerships with some brand ambassadors, some celebrities. This is a I don't know, Kylie Minogue iPod limited edition. Maybe this is a I don't know, Jay-Z iPod, etc. So this is what like their portfolio currently looks like, and I can guarantee that this is something constant that they're constantly thinking about. What are we launching next? What are we retiring? Which product or service is bringing us the most money? How can we reinvest that? Like so this is what portfolio management is all about. And like I hope this Apple example, because I would assume everybody is like more or less familiar with that brand, is going to help you further understand like, so if Apple's looking like that, so okay, so definitely this is what their stars there is, their question marks. So for my company, this is what the star is. This is what the cash cow is, or it could be. So it doesn't like it could happen that you don't have a full product portfolio, but that's the whole point of the session. It's supposed to help you understand that. Okay, so I probably need to look at my company's products and services and understand how would that fix on the BCG matrix. Which one could be stars? which one are dogs that I really need to not like stop paying attention to and really see where that leads. So depending on the products that you have, once you're done placing them on the BCG matrix, you have decisions to make, right? You could either build. So building means I need to invest in the products they have low market share but high market growth potential to become stars. Like low market share, that means either a dog or a question mark, but high market growth, that means a question mark. So I need to build my question marks because I need to like, and we said that we need to push the question marks to become stars. So this is one scenario that we could do. Or we could hold. So build was scenario number one. Scenario number two is hold, meaning we're maintaining current investment in a product, and that product is generating, steady profits, or it has potential. So could be in a like again a question mark. Well, it's generating profits. It has potential. It might become a star, or if it's a star, it might become a cash cow. So we're holding that, right? Or you could harvest. Harvest is when you're saying like, oh, well, we need to retire that product. So what we're gonna do instead of cutting it like, divesting, instead of just removing it from the portfolio totally, we're gonna spend a period where we're just harvesting. Harvesting means we're reducing investment, meaning we're no longer like actively promoting that product or investing in developing that product. So we're reducing investment because it's still generating significant revenue because we want to maximize the short-term profits of that product, but we're also thinking of phasing it out. We are going to phase it out, but there's too much profit left for us to just retire it overnight. So let's harvest. We're reducing investment and like capitalizing on our distribution channels or whatnot to make sure that, oh my God, we're getting like the actual profits, the residual profits of that product. And then we have scenario number four, divest, right? So divest is most of the time that's what happens to dogs. So we're selling or we're just discontinuing the product altogether because they're no longer profitable, right? Or, well, we rebranded. We just bought that company, so we're no longer that like that particular product does not no longer fits in our portfolio. So it's two reasons that you can divest. Either it's a dog, you have to put it down. It's no longer serving its purpose. Or strategically speaking, it doesn't reflect our brand identity prism. So our personality, our physique, our values, that product, it was there when we launched, but it was a business model we were trying, but now we're sure we know who we are, we know exactly who our customer segments are, and that product is not something that they're interested in. Therefore, we're divesting it, we're removing it totally. Scenario number five is diversify. So you're adding new products to the portfolio. And I would assume this is what a lot of people are going to do after watching this video. Like you're adding new products to the portfolio because you want to reduce the risks and you really want to take advantage of the new growth opportunities. Because like I said, I see a lot of people launching companies with dogs. So this is the part where if you only have a dog, or let's say if you only have a bunch of question marks and dogs, this is where you say, how can I launch a star? How can I, or if you already had a star and no cash cow, how do I transition one of my one of my stars into a cash cow? So this is where you're diversifying. You're really adding new products to your portfolio to make sure that you have all the necessary ones to make your company become like as profitable as it should be. So you're reducing risk because remember we said like a company that has one product, one service, or one, like it's really important to put your eggs in multiple baskets. So diversify is definitely a strategy that is important. Or you can consolidate, meaning this is where when you're merging or acquiring other companies, because like you're seeing some redundancy, right? That company is doing what you want to do. Like, it's like Facebook did that. No, we don't want WhatsApp to be doing what we're doing with Messenger. And Apple did that. Like, we don't want Beats by Dre to be doing what we want to do with Apple Music. We don't want, like, et cetera, et cetera. We don't want Beats by Dre to be owned by HP, our competitor, put in like their headphones technology in every HP laptop. We don't want that. Like, let's just buy Beats by Dre, and you never hear about it anymore. So they didn't even buy it to use it, really. They just bought it to consolidate their market share. Like, yeah, let's just acquire other companies. Like, we're consolidating market share, and we're increasing our competitive advantage so that HP now has to figure out another sound system to put in their laptops. So, of course, I would assume not a lot of people are in a position to consolidate, especially if you're offering services, but it is a strategy that people use to manage portfolios. And then last but not least, repositioning. So repositioning means it's kind of like rebranding, but only for products. Changing the position of a product in the market to appeal to a new target audience or to differentiate it from the competitors. So most of the time you do that with dogs, because I noticed like people tend to be attached with their products, and like they never really kill them off. They always feel like, hey, okay, fine, it's no longer working, but maybe if we, reposition it and start offering a variation of that product to a different category of people or target audience, maybe there was bite, and it would definitely still work. So it's something that happens most of the time with dogs, but it should happen to question marks as well. And a lot of success stories are actually pivot stories where the people launch a startup, and then they knew the product or the service was going to be used for that. And they started doing tests, and they noticed that the people buying it were buying it for a very different, very, very, very different purpose. So they pivoted, and they repositioned that product, and like started targeting a new audience, and what that did is that really helped. So in terms of connection now, like, who like what's your relationship um with strategic partners? What's your relationship, like, who do you need to understand their way of thinking in order to dictate your portfolio changes? Well, it starts with industry experts, right? You need consultants who understand like portfolio management, who can come to your company and be like, okay, we'll do an audit. We'll understand like how your brand is presenting itself, the products that you currently have, the services that you already have, and really be able to give you some guidance and tell you, well, this is a star. This is what you need to put X percentage of your marketing budget in. This is a question mark, but based on the trends, you don't have a lot of chances of it like turning into a star. So maybe this is the time to reduce investment, etc. So like you basically need someone who understands these things to come and help you guide your portfolio analysis and really to help develop strategies. Like remember that list of strategies, like develop a strategy for each and every one of your offerings. Like, what are we doing with our dogs? What are we doing with our cows? What are we doing with our question marks? What are we doing with our stars? Uh, so you also need to understand customers and like stakeholders, like, because you may think your portfolio is looking like this and that, but to your customers, it's a whole different picture. So you really need to talk to them so that you can have their feedback, their understanding, how exactly are they using it, when are they using it, so that you understand, oh, then I can, if that's part is what actually matters to you, then this is what I should actually improve or invest in improving, etc. So, or Oh, if that's what you actually want to accomplish, and this is again why it's important to master your customer profile, pains, gains, jobs to be done. So, oh, this is what you're actually trying to accomplish, then none of my services or products are responding to that. Let me innovate an actual service that's gonna fix your problem in the best way possible. So, no product portfolio is designed or managed in a bubble, in a vacuum, without customers and stakeholders like understanding what they're actually trying to accomplish. And of course, suppliers and partners who, help you design and create those products and services. And of course, Porter's five forces, the competitors, because you need to be understanding what's happening in the market so that you can, stay ahead so that you understand that, oh, this market that was booming last year is dead now. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to, when I'm like diversifying, trying to adding new product to my portfolio, it doesn't make sense for me to add a product in that particular market because, it's dying. And vice versa. That you need to understand that, oh, by 2030, this particular market will be it's already booming now, but the actual crux of it, this is where like the market would actually create like so much return for investors. Then this is what I need to start working on now, because you're not gonna launch your 2030 product in 2030. This is the now is when you're actually thinking about creating that. So speaking of products, I really wanted to, because I realized that that's one of the things I don't do at all. Like I don't talk about the breadth and depth of my services. So I really wanted to introduce you to this platform, which is a e-commerce platform dedicated to Haitian products. So it's kind of like Shopify or Amazon or Etsy, except it's strictly Haitian products. So this is where you go to get your coffee, your chocolate, your noix, your ginger, your we have craft products, we have artisanal, like in the sense of you can find some like bags, some jewels, so many things that you can only get from Haiti, that John, that cassave. So this is where you go to do it. So we never spoke really about that. And HighSpot is a sponsor of this session, of course, in partnership with GAHCCI, Bell Initiative, and of course, Brandpill. So I really wanted to introduce you. So it's highspot.com. So HAISPOT.com. And as you can see there's you can see art, beverage, food, health and beauty, fashion, literature, toys and games, services. So a lot of stuff that you're not seeing here. I didn't put the products. I didn't want to I didn't want to make any jealous, but just go on the website and you're basically going to find things that a lot of Haitian products for your own benefit. But that's not the reason why I'm sharing this with you. It's because I wanted to announce that Brandpill as a store on highspot.com. And this is the services that I think would be very useful to accompany this course, the MBA, the monthly business assembly for GAHCCCI, based on the feedback that I've gotten, based on the questions that I get, based on the I would say the interactions that we've had with the entrepreneurs that come is definitely like the needs I really assessed is, so I created this I'm sharing these services with you so that you could complement with the services. So the store is on highspot.com, so you could either go on highspot.com and just type brand pill and find my store, or you could go to highspot.com/store/brand pill marketing. So the first thing I would want you to do, and this is a free offering, we're talking about sales funnels. So this is the first thing. It's a free offering, but like, please do not believe that because it's free, it doesn't have a lot of value. On the contrary, this is a brand health checkup. And this was meticulously put together to help you evaluate where your brand stands. So it's free. It's a self evaluation. You don't need anyone to fill it up. So you just fill it up. And also the benefit of it is that it's separated in sections, right? So there are different sections in brand management. So it's separated in sections. So when you fill it, and we get the answers, we get to get back to you and tell you that your weakness, this is your score on that section, on that section, and on that section, and on that section. And so your weakness is more in that phase of brand management, and we can make like specific recommendations for your brand in order to increase it. So this is a very, very like valuable tool. So you have access to it for free, and this is also something that we use for our clients. Like when they come to us, we evaluate the brand and make sure that everything is on point. So that's one thing that you can find on the store for free, on the HiveSpot store. The second thing we wanted to share with you is the magical triangle of business model. So it's a workbook, meaning, it's like we like tools. We don't like just the theoretical things and like people don't know what to do afterwards. We like actionable tools. So it's a document that helps you. It's fillable, so it's a PDF. You download the PDF and you open it with a PDF reader that has the capacity to edit a form. So you can fill out that form, and it helps you answer the questions that allow you to document and optimize your business models. So this is just $5. So you get you get the actual fillable PDF, and you get to download it, print it out, right? If you prefer writing in it. So it's all yours. So what that does is it has a list of questions that helps you understand exactly what your business model should be. And the difference between the magical triangle of business models and the business model canvas is the business model canvas has 9 quadrants, and it's a little bit more thorough, more daunting, I would say. But this one is just a triangle, and it has 4 sections, like the what, the who, the how, and then the value. So the value is basically the profit mechanism. Like, how is this thing profitable? How are we going to make money? So it's really synthesized version of your business model. And once you're done filling it out, I guarantee, and I have the testimonials to put that people who use it, like they gain a level of clarity and they become more creative into, oh, I noticed that my who is missing dot dot dot, my what is missing dot dot dot, and it helps you really design and improve your business model. So a very important tool. I'm so glad that we got to put it out in a format that entrepreneurs and businessmen can use very easily. So it, of course, like I always say that all these tools exist already. Brandpill is merely bringing it, and we put the credit on there. If you zoom in, you can see that this is adapted from. So there's a lot of these tools that we haven't published yet, but this is one of the first that we're putting out because we're realizing, yeah, it's not really your marketing that has an issue. It's not really your branding that needs work. It's your business model. So like we're really pushing that forward because this your business model is what's making the difference between anti dégagé, like we like saying it, and an actual business that can, yield millions or billions of dollars. So we really believe in that. And just for $5, you can start really prepping a winning business model. And then we also have the strategic coaching call. So it's a virtual call, like one-on-one, and you're basically used to that one because we have a partnership with GAHCCI that allows us to have a discount for the members. So this one is not discounted. This is the main actual BrandPal strategic coaching call service. So it's the value of it is 53 USD. Well, that's not the value, that's the price. It's invaluable. So $53 USD is what it actually is, but with the coupon code of GAHCCI 23, you get that same price that you can get from the website, from the GAHCCI website. So the reason why we also want you to purchase from HighSpot is because, well, I haven't said that before, but the e-commerce platform HighSpot does not buy products from Haiti and then sells them in the US. We allow Haitians in Haiti, entrepreneurs in Haiti, businessmen in Haiti, We facilitate them exporting their products, and they retain their products. So when the products are in the US, they're still the property of those entrepreneurs. And what they're doing through HighSpot is building their brands, is building their customer relationships, because they have access to everything. They have access to the email addresses of the people who are buying, and they can keep building their brands instead of us just, it's not just HighSpot. So we're really helping US dollars go into the Haitian economy. We're really helping these entrepreneurs who are struggling, who haven't given up yet, like really feed their families, and like be able to stay in Haiti. So basically they're still able to um benefit and capitalize on the American market while staying in Haiti. So we don't have another brain drain like we had in the 80s, where in the 90s, where, oh my God, so all the smart people are leaving, and all the entrepreneurs who were creating jobs are leaving. But HighSpot is really striving to, hey, you can still make money even though things are difficult in Haiti. You can still make money somewhere else, but you're preparing for all of that. So of course this is not a high spot commercial, so I'm gonna stop there. But that was just me saying that it's bigger than profit. It's bigger than just making money. It's really bringing more hope to the Haitian economy and to the Haitian entrepreneurs living there. So every transaction, even the free one, just visiting HighSpot helps us in that mission. So that's why I really wanted to, start promoting that more and help you understand that this is another way that you can help Haiti, beyond just aid. You can actually gain something from it, and just like look the person in their eyes, have a horizontal relationship instead of a vertical relationship, where I'm not just aiding, but I'm getting a benefit. I'm trading with you. So this is like the dream. This is the dream of a lifetime. I'll even say it. So it's something that's really important for me, and all this giving back that I do, whether in Brandpill University for entrepreneurs in Haiti, whether with the MBA with GAHCCI, and so many other stuff. But this particular session, and high spot specifically, these are all things that matters a lot tremendously to me. And so I really wanted to share that with you and tell you, hey, this is another way that you can support, and this is another way that you can help your company become better. So I wanted to thank you so much for choosing Brandpill for your treatment, um, and like education and educating, and being able to teach the Haitian community, and helping you guys become better entrepreneurs, making your brands more competitive, making sure you have that more successful 2023 year. Really, really, really is what we're trying to do here. And thanks a lot for all of you who attend, all of you who share the videos, all of you who send your the other day, one of you sent their child, who was also an entrepreneur, to learn more, etc. So this really helps the mission along. And I think the more connected we stay, the more united we stayed, and the stronger we are as a Haitian community. So thanks again for sticking out until the end, and I will see you next time in our MBA refill, in our monthly business assembly as well. Ciao.